How's it going, everyone? I'm Daniel Rodriguez, and it's finally time to review another movie. This time it's the latest movie to star Chloe Grace Moretz and Liev Schreiber. This movie is directed by Jay Blakeson, and it is a sci-fi, action, adventure, survival movie, I guess you could say. Not really survival, but it's based on a book. I have not read this so-called book. I have no intentions on reading it. I'm not trying to diss the book. If you want to read the book, or if you're a big fan of the book, hey, power to you. I guess it's a younger adult book, like sort of Hunger Games, Divergent, but it's aliens, which is a cool thing. You know, I get it. You know, I get, you know, it's actually it's kind of interesting the way that the fifth wave works. But I can't tell you whether the book to screen adaptation is accurate enough to have the book fans happy. I can't tell you that. I'm sorry about that, but I can tell you what I thought about the movie. I'm going to give you the pros, and I'm going to give you the cons, the good and the bad. A little bit of the ugly, maybe. I don't know if there's that much ugly in here, man, but there's some bad and there's some good. I'm just going to tell you without spoiling. I'm not going to spoil nothing for you guys. I'm just going to tell you basic things, and I'll give you my final score at the end. Tell you whether or not you should go check this out in theaters, or if you're watching this later down the road on DVD or rental. Same thing, basically. Anyway, Chloe Grace Moretz, man. You know, I haven't seen her in a while. Last time I saw her was The Equalizer, actually. I know she did another movie before that, after that, an indie movie. Liev Schreiber, man, I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, I have, actually. Spotlight, and then he was Ray Donovan. He's already like 3 seasons in. Congratulations, man. Very awesome. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my non-spoiler review for The Fifth Wave. Now, for a movie with an estimated budget of $38 million, the effects in here are really good, man. Of course, have you seen the trailer or not? The second wave, it's not really much of a spoiler since it's in the trailers and probably the book. Obviously, the book. There's earthquakes and tsunamis and everything that happens with the world. And the way that these earthquake and tsunamis are done, I will say the effects are not half-assed, they're not lazy, they are pretty damn good, man. I mean, the effects, like, the tsunami looks so damn real. I wasn't like, that's fake, dude, it's a fake tsunami. Like, it looked pretty damn real to me, man. I was like, holy God, get out of there. Like, it literally felt real. So I will say that the effects in here, besides some, it kind of like a little fuzzy effects, man. There's sort of like, more like 80% awesome effects, 20% effects. Like, you could tell sometimes when the alien ship thing in the skies, you're like, oh, that affects, dude, you. But other effects, man, you do notice, you're like, that actually is some damn good effects. There's a character named Evan in here. I won't tell you much about him, but I will say that his character, the movie has a slow pacing, and once Evan was introduced, that's where it picked up. That's where I actually started getting even more interested and more thrown into the story. That's where I actually wanted to know more about this character. I want to know more about the surrounding. He just brought a sort of presence to the screen where it is predictable what he is. The way his dialogue, if you listen to the dialogue and if you have a brain, you could kind of tell who's who and what's happening. But I will say that his character, Evan, is a very interesting character. He's a likable character, too. I guess he got a cute actor for the girls, but also, just for me, man, I think he's a pretty cool dude, and the way that the actor portrays him. Can't tell you again, like, how the book Evan was to the real screen, but I will say that Evan is a likable character. Like I said, Liev Schreiber's in this movie, man. I'm a really big fan of Liev Schreiber. He's awesome in this movie, man. And now, he was better in Spotlight, but he plays, you know, a military captain, lieutenant in this, and he's believable. He really puts a lot of effort into this, man. He is brilliant in here. He's really fun. He is, even though he's not like that, you know, he's real, you know, yes, the fifth wave has begun. But the way he does it, it's just so, the way he puts the dialogue and the speeches, it is believable. It may not be an Independence Day speech sort of strong, but for sure I really enjoyed his character, and if you're a Liev Schreiber fan, you may want to see him in this. I was surprised how much I almost cried in this movie. It's a very emotional movie, and I almost cried 4 or 5 times in this movie. I actually was getting tears, and I could hear people around the theater literally behind me, in front of me, the side of me. I could hear people like that, and I was like, oh, like I could hear their crying, like the tear. Like I know how like from that to an actual tear, like sucking it all up and everything. But I was gonna cry, but I was like, hold yourself together, dude. There's many people. There's young middle schoolers around. You don't be a role model like that. Don't cry up on them. You gotta be healthy. You gotta stay calm, man. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. But it gets to you, man. And I'm like, how do I like these characters? Some of them are not even that well written. Well, some are not well written, and you kind of just feel emotional for certain characters. It's just a human thing. Like, it's a family, dude, and that family breaks apart. Whether from famine, disease, same thing, disease, earthquakes, natural disasters. I mean, it hurts because you could relate to it in one way or another, or how it could happen to any of us, man, honestly. Tsunamis, earthquakes, diseases. It can happen to anyone. And just even having it when there's an alien apocalypse going on, you could feel. It's an emotional movie, if you have a heart. Let's just say there's a few twists in this movie. Some twists work, some twists don't. But the one thing I will say is there's a twist in here. The way it's explained, the way that it's broken down, and the way that it's presented, like, the way that it's said on screen is not really that climactic or not really that fun. But the way it is shown on the screen, the way it actually plays out over the course of the movie is really the fun, enjoyable popcorn action part. And the action in here is pretty good. Now, the fire action with the guns, I wouldn't say is the best. I think that was kind of the lazy thing there, or really not well choreographed. But the well choreographed action is the hand fist fighting battles. Those are the best, man. I won't tell you who's fighting, but he's a badass, and it's very fun to see that character kick ass. So, like I said, the gunfighting, not a big fan of. The hand-to-hand combat fighting wins the spot of action. This movie has a slow first act. Honestly, the pacing of the first act was just really there. I mean, it was noticeable. It's not a bad movie, like I'm saying. It is enjoyable. But the first act is kind of where, like, again, like once you meet Evan and, once you get to that character, you actually start to get more invested into the story, and you're kind of already like, okay, this is the world now. This is kind of where you're already there. And I'm not saying that the whole first wave, second wave, third wave, I'm not saying all that was really bad, but it's just the course of, like, let's say the 40, 50 minutes, the first act there was sort of the slow, because it's showing her before the apocalypse. It's her in school, and they really, Chloe Grace Moretz, she has that high school look face. Like, she's still young, but it's still just like, no, like you playing soccer in the field and everything, sort of. Like, it's just, the whole first act is like building up to the first, second, third, fourth, which it happened obviously quick. But, like, it's just the first act. Not the best. The second and third are better. There is an unnecessary slow motion shot. There's only one unnecessary slow motion, but it's literally like like that, and I mean, it's like literally 15 seconds. Like, I was like, really? Who wanted it to be slow motion, this scene? She's not running away. Like, there's nobody running after her. It's just like, I didn't get why they did that. Also, our characters make stupid decisions, and by stupid decisions, I mean not even real-life humans would make these sort of decisions. Like, the decisions that some of the characters do are not even human. It is pretty dumb. And then we got side characters that are not really explored. They're not drawn out. Some of them you want to explore more. Some you don't care. You don't care for. They die, they die. Who cares? It's almost like that. The side characters, some are good, but you don't get to see them much. They're not explored. They're not drawn out. Who are they? What are you? I mean, really, it's just sort of, they're there, and then they disappear, and then they're there, and then what's your story? I mean, you're just, why? It's really just not explored much, and I don't think they really even intended to even go into their history. They should have. And again, it is a very predictable movie. I mean, literally, before I even saw this movie, I was like, yeah, I said there's a few good twists in here that work. But at the end of the day, I was really all right on my predictions about what would happen in the movie. And the ending of this movie. I don't like the ending of this movie because you know what it leads up to? You guessed it. A sequel, because every damn book to screen adaptation needs to have a sequel. And I'm okay if they make a fifth wave sequel. Honestly, I'm okay if they do. But just what happened over the course of the hour and 50 minutes that I was sitting in my chair in the theater, and the ending of the movie, and it ends just like boom, almost a slap to my face. You're like, you just saw an hour and 50 minutes of stuff that was already kind of known in the trailer, and then just a few little twists there, here and there, which was mostly predictable. Yeah. Woo! If you're lucky enough, you will get to do a sequel like in a year or 2 years. So it's sort of like that, like where it was just sort of like, oh, well, this is the end, really? An hour and 50 minutes, and you told one book story when you could have just told two. You could have just broke it down. I mean, it's honestly, the ending, I'm not saying it's a horrible ending, but just, if it only ended the whole situation, instead of it just being like, wait for the sequel, it may never come, maybe it will, there's no talk about a sequel. So that's what I'm trying to get to, man. Overall, I thought it was an okay movie. It's a watchable movie. It's not a good movie, it's not a great movie, but, you know, not even the aliens, you never see the aliens per se. You never really get to see it physically. So I'm going to end up giving this movie a 5.9 out of a 10. Is it worth watching in theaters? Not really. You don't have to see it in theaters. It's more of a rental. Go see this at Redbox or something when it's available. If it's already available now, I recommend, yeah, it's worth watching, seeing. But, you know, if you're a big fan of the books, then most likely you'll probably like this movie. If you like Chloe Grace Moretz, I mean, she's okay in here. I like her. She's a good actress, and she's really beautiful to me. Doesn't mean she's fantastic in here. I mean, she's okay. I mean, it's nothing. It's an okay movie. Liev Schreiber is good in here. He's great in here. Doesn't mean you have. I mean, I said it earlier, but you don't have to really rush down to the theater because Liev Schreiber is not in every scene of this movie. He's only in a sort of probably 7 minutes of screen time. That's it. So, anyway, 5.9 out of a 10, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment down below. Let me know what did you guys think about the fifth wave and whether or not you're going to go see it or not. Really, if you like the channel and you want to support it, hit the subscribe button. I'll be seeing you guys later next week for more. I mean, I still got to review The Danish Girl, The Boy, 50 Shades of Black, Jane Got a Gun, The Finest Hours, so much more. Kung Fu Panda 3, so much more. So, stay tuned. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews, video game topics. Oh, it's going to be a treat, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys later. God bless. Bye-bye.